As I promised in my last video, I have more galleries to show you guys in LA. It's another absolutely beautiful day, and we're gonna start down in the LA Arts District, which is in downtown LA. And this is a really cool new building that a lot of galleries have moved to. So actually the majority of the video is going to be here, and then we're going to head up to East Hollywood, which honestly those exhibits are insane as well. So make sure you stay to the end because I promise it'll be absolutely worth it. So the first stop is Vielmetter Gallery, and it's on the ground floor and has a show by Patrick Wilson. And Patrick is an LA-based artist who's known for creating these just beautiful, abstract, geometric paintings. Color is definitely the subject matter in Patrick's works, but he's also inspired by the California movements of hard edge and light and space. You can Google those if you want to look more into it. These were super popular in the 60s, and he's sort of paying tribute to those with his works. Another thing that Patrick does is creating paintings within paintings. He layers this acrylic paint in order to create depth so that the viewer just gets lost in these works, and it's not just one plane of shape and color, but there is that depth to it. Next stop, which is conveniently right across the hall, is Nicodim Gallery, which has an exhibit of sculptures by Stanley Edmondson titled Stanley's Circus. And this exhibit is actually in two parts. The first one is where we are, starting in this space, and the second is actually up on a higher floor at a second exhibition space, which we'll go to next. But I really love the story behind these works, and honestly I think it explains like the joy you feel when you see them, or at least I feel when I see them. Stanley was inspired by Alexander Calder. When Alexander Calder lived in Paris in the 20s, he created Calder's Circus. I encourage all of you to Google it. There's a lot of articles and information about it online, but Calder's Circus is literally a mini circus that he created. But in addition to this creation, he'd invite his friends over to watch him sort of create it in real time. So he not only created a mini circus, but he made a circus almost of him creating the work. So there's a lot of fun duality there. And another thing about these works is that Edmondson uses his own clay and glaze recipes, which is a common practice of Bauhaus. It's the idea of sort of weaving craft with fine art and the technical challenges of fabrication. And he's worked with a lot of other artists as well, like Ruby Neri. We just saw her works at David Kordansky. And so it's not just about creating these works, but it's about sort of the technical journey as well. This is a great insight into this building. The address is 1700 South Santa Fe Ave, and this building was actually a commercial tire company before, and now they've converted it into these incredible spaces that honestly are just like perfect for art galleries. And we're heading up to see the second part of Stanley Circus, as well as a really great view of downtown LA. This is the last show that we're going to see in this building. This is Beverly Fishman's show at Gavlak Gallery, and this is actually her first solo show with the gallery. And the exhibit is appropriately named Love Letter to LA. And this is another exhibit of hers that pays homage to one of the California movements that I mentioned earlier, the light and space movement. And these are all new works by Fishman, and they dive into subjects that she's really known for exploring, such as medication and the pharmaceutical industry. And Fishman's works really represent how the pharmaceutical companies market medication to the general public with these beautiful advertisements and bright colors. I personally love how the works almost look like they're lit up by artificial light, but honestly it's just the neon that reflects so beautifully on the white gallery walls. They look literally electric. Now we've headed up to West Hollywood to one of 3 Nino Mier gallery spaces. We're going to check out 2 today, starting with this exhibit by John Pylypchuk. And John is based in LA, and every time I see his works, honestly, I just laugh. I love his sense of humor that he brings. You can always tell that it's one of his works right away, and this exhibit is titled, "I Know I'll Never Love This Way Again." And John is the king of anthropomorphism, or the practice of giving human characteristics to an object. He really uses his sculptures to explore the frailty of human existence and social relationships. But I love that by using these objects, like cigarettes, as a method of communicating these heavier topics, they become a lot more approachable and digestible to the viewer. The gallery, I think, described it as survivalist humor, and I love that description. I feel like I use survivalist humor a lot, particularly in the last year. And all of these sculptures are actually made from bronze, and they're a metaphor for change, the intention to change, and longing to return to a flawed normal. And I really just think we can all relate to that right now. And across the street, as I mentioned, is another Nino Mier exhibit. These are works by Louise Bonnet titled Vagabond. And the exhibit consists of 7 oil paintings that she created about a year into quarantine. And they were inspired by the 1985 film Agnes Varda's iconic Vagabond. And the film is about an uninhibited wanderer. And Bonnet took inspiration from how the film was edited more so than anything. The main character in the film really maintains her privacy. Like, you get a glimpse into her life, but you don't get the whole picture. And that really resonated with her. And I think that resonates with a lot of people, especially women. I know it resonates with me. And according to the gallery, Bonnet presents here a group of distinct yet thematically connected scenes that collectively grapple with a woman's often thwarted longing to be alone with her thoughts, her desire to remain inscrutable and inaccessible in a world that expects women to be available and accommodating. I love that statement. It's just so beautifully written and so beautifully articulated. And in general, these paintings kind of follow her signature style of creating characters with these exaggerated, soft limbs. And the characters are meant to represent the mental state of an individual more so than the physical state. But similar to John Pylypchuk, her works are so iconic and distinguishable. Every time you see them, you always know that it's her, and I love that she has such a strong signature in that way. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed my trip to LA as much as I did. I'll definitely be heading back and covering more shows. There's so much incredible art to see here. So please subscribe, stay up to date with all the videos that I'm putting out, and I will see you guys next time.